Are Doom Diver Catapults any good in patch 6.0.4? Well, there's never been a patch they haven't been good in as far as I can recall. This is the other half of the Greenskins have deceptively good artillery line. Yeah, it's all about putting a goblin in a wingsuit and having him YOLO into an enemy formation, so it's already fun. But for all its crudeness, this fantasy version of guided munitions is decent in a lot of situations, and that flexibility and reliability is something you can build around. Or put simply, yes, it's nice to have one starting one like Grimgore has, but having an army with 3 or 4, and it can get pretty crazy. A bit risky, but crazy. Recruited for 1,000 gold and 250 upkeep, which may not seem that crazy, but it's a lot higher than the other Goblin artillery. You get 4 catapults with 4,212 health between them. Armor is 15, leadership 40, speed 20, melee stats abysmal, and not going to touch them, thank you very much. Basically, it's Goblin artillery. So far. Ammunition 22 should be expected by now. Range 400 is not exactly bad, but you'd love to have longer range than the Rock Lobbers, and at least the default you do not. Each direct impact is 70 base and 170 armor piercing, which is considerably more than the Rock Lobbers, but detonation radius is only 2, and within that, it's base 40 and AP 15 explosive damage, so that's a lot less. Albeit in tightly packed units, you're still going to see results for that. It's just a lot less effective on your Chosen or Chaos Warriors, or so on. Reload time is 18 seconds default, not fast. Total accuracy is 20 default, the average figure. Calibration distance 300 means it's not extra inaccurate until past 3/4 of its default range. Calibration area 13 is not crazy bad at all, so it's somewhat accurate. Penetration size cap is medium, so Empire Knights on down, and max targets penetrated after the first is 5 at absolute best. Note that the direct damage is higher than Rock Lobbers, so lucky hits with a lot of penetration are going to hurt. This is a siege attacker and cannot run, it cannot hide in forest, and interestingly, it is not considered expendable. Your orcs will care if you lose a battery. In the redline skills, Death from Above at 3 pips adds its usual plus 20% ammunition and 8% missile strength. Rank 7 ones can benefit from Savage Smarts for plus 20% more ammo, plus 12% more missile strength, and 10% reload time reduction. In the tech tree, more grub applies for plus 5 leadership and minus 5% upkeep. That looks like it's it from the tech tree. So, what about scrap upgrades? Salvaged artillery doesn't require a tech and 60 scrap base, grants reload time reduction 15%, which is very nice when you're starting with such a high reload time. Salvaged flingers is required to unlock better wingsuits, and for a mere 30 scrap, this allows range plus 20%. 20% on a 400 range unit means range 480, and that is a big deal. So how do we use the Doom Diver Catapults? There is no target that's completely safe from this unit. Just using it to whittle down a single entity monster or hope for lucky hits on a lord can work, but the higher direct damage means it's more likely to win artillery duels than Rock Lobbers. Being able to fly well above your front lines means you should have your pick of priority targets, so making the most out of it is a matter of experience, skill, and how much you invest in the units. Basically, you want to use your wingsuits to diminish and degrade the highest priority unit possible, be that Phoenix Guard or Dragon Princes. You want to soften things up so your boys have the best shot possible at bringing the melee fight under control quickly. The only thing you really don't want to do is waste the ammunition on stuff like Skaven Slaves, unless you truly have no choice, and then you just take what you can get. It's powerful in a sense, but in that situation you're unlikely to get as much out of it as even Rock Lobbers. You need to pick what needs to suffer that damage, and then focus at that. Pick your targets well, and you will prosper, and your enemies will suffer. That's all there is to it. It's a lot less random than the Rock Lobbers, so dare your enemies to do something about it and prepare for their determined efforts. And if they don't do anything useful, just nail them with Gobble Fanatics until you run out. You can always find more later. Take care and have fun firing rounds that really do scream as they approach their targets.